you can download a step-by-step PDF version of this tutorial just by clicking the link in the description. And in that step-by-step printable version, you're going to find lots of photographs and every single step that you need to know in order to create this. Hello, it's Jantien here, Chapel Cottage Studio. Today I'm going to do a tutorial on using acrylic inks to do a beautiful flower picture. This is a photograph of a bouquet of flowers I was given. Thought it was rather beautiful, thought I would keep it. So the first step is always to do a drawing, and even before you do your drawing, you're going to quickly look at the photograph, or even not quickly in your case. Take your time and decide how to compose it. Beautiful flower, this is my focus, and I'm going to add this little red rose. I'm going to add this piece of Sweet William, this little, I believe it's a peony, this one in bud. I'm not a florist, I don't know. And there's a tiny little flower down here that will also be really nice, but I'm going to move it to up here. Also, this is too far to the left. It's looking out of the picture. So in the drawing, I'm going to move it along a bit to the right, so that it's further over to the right hand side and we'll be looking into the picture. So I'm going to use a 2B pencil, sharpened, really sharp please, so that you don't get smudgy pencil over the paper. And I keep a putty rubber with me, for if I go wrong, of course, which I'm quite likely to. The aim in this picture is to draw really carefully. Teach yourself some drawing skills. And this means that we're going to observe closely what is going on here. And we're going to reproduce it over here. I find it useful to point with one finger so I know where I am, because there's lots of lines. It's going to be, roughly this big. Oh look, I'm picking up stuff off my easel again. Let's get rid of it. I must clean the easel. I'm going to start right in the middle with my pencil. And I'm going to pick a shape and draw it onto here. I'm going to draw it quite heavy so that you can see what I'm doing. When you're drawing, I want you to draw it very lightly, so that you'll just be able to see it through the acrylic paints. And I'm picking up every tiny little bit that I can see. All these frilly little shapes are extremely important. Otherwise, you're just going to get something that looks like a daisy. So we're going to take our time, try and draw every single little piece that you can see of the picture. Every little curve. Try not to think too much about what it is. Try to focus on the little shapes and make them exactly the same on your picture. It's a very good drawing exercise in itself. And I keep my finger where I am on the picture so that I can follow what I'm doing. Do remember not to do it this dark on yours. Move your finger along the original painting. Try to get every one of those little twiddly shapes in. And as you move along your picture, you're going to come to the outside, coming down here, and you'll get some bigger shapes going along on the outside, coming down here, across the bottom here, through and in. Copy the shapes, move your finger around it so you know where you are, so you don't get lost. And we can work our way through the whole flower. Taking our time, taking our time, taking our time. You can do it much slower than this. I just want to get you started. Everything that you can see, you're going to try and put in. There's a little bit to start you off. Just have a quick look over here at these nice little gaps. Let's get those in the edges of the flowers. See the little dark gaps by there? Really nice. You're going to work your way through the whole flower, and then you're going to work onwards to this one, Okay, and we'll do a bit of composing again in the next shot. Okay, so here's my drawing almost completed. I'm going to do a little bit more now. I've repositioned my flower a little. It was over here and I thought it was a little bit too far to that edge, so I've repositioned it. You can see that I very carefully worked my way through the whole jigsaw, not forgetting all these little tiny little wiggly bits which make the flower what it is. If you try and go too fast with big sweeps, you're going to have a different flower, which in the end wouldn't really matter. But you know, if you want to do this one, all these twiddly bits have to be incorporated. Exactly the same technique for doing the rose. This flower at the top, you can see that I've done a very simple outline around the bottom of it. Here's the flower, and then I haven't enclosed the top at all. I've left it because it's going to fade away up there. I've made this one up, and again the top of it is going to fade away, and similarly this one. These little flowers here, they're actually in a different place on this picture, but I don't want it down there, so I've put one there, and I've used the same pattern and put one up here as well. I'm going to put one more flower in, this Sweet William, and I'm just going to draw this through with you, and we're going to draw a couple of leaves and stalks, then we'll be ready for the next thing. So to do this one, the easiest way is to start with some circles of where you think those flowers are on your picture. And then you're giving yourself a framework to paint inside. So some rough circles of where the flowers are, little bit of simplifying. To begin, and then I can get in, put in the centres and start to draw the little wiggledy petals. Wiggledy being my technical term for the day. And they have got really uppy downy, inny outy edges. Sorry, my drawing board moved a little bit then. There we are, so I've got one by there. The centre of this one, I always start with the centres because then it's easy to work out from them. A little bit of a wiggledy edge round here. And it's squishing up against the next flower. These are the important bits. These are the bits that make it natural. Centres way down in there. Otherwise we have a tendency to paint them all the same. Going around there, and then I can just see the edge of a petal, the edge of another petal behind it, little bit of green showing in the middle. Another one here, there's the centre. Edge of a petal, edge of another petal, all very, very inny outy, frilly. I love my technical terms. Inny outy and frilly petals, that's what we're after. Well, you can see this one is folding inwards over the others. Everything's just a little bit different. A couple of petals visible at the back. Last one's in here. Little bit of inny outy, and behind here I've got a couple of edges of petals showing, little flower going behind there. So that's all our flowers drawn, and if you want to use this circles technique here to start to get them the right size, that's absolutely fine. And it does help when you're doing a bunch like this, it helps to put these circles in first so you know where you're drawing. So next we're going to put in the leaves. Right, let's draw some of this background. Now, it's a big
sort of fussy heap of stuff on here. That's a technical term again. We're going to simplify it lots, and we're just going to make some nice bold shapes. I do like the fact that you can see some of the stems, so we're going to put some stems in, and we're going to simplify the leaves. This side of the picture, which is sort of where it's going to fade away a bit, we're just going to put in a couple of very simple leaves and sort of group them a little bit down here. Oh, let's put a leaf that goes behind that and is coming out the other side, so we've got one that is like that. You can make up your own, of course. We've got a stem going up there, so let's put a little leaf that's going with it, as it were. And maybe one out of the side of here, going across here, and that's going to whoosh away at the top. Maybe another one going. I have no idea what these leaves should look like, but it doesn't matter. Now, if I put a few big leaves going behind everything that's going on here, make sure that when you draw them going behind things. One coming out of the rose at the bottom, and if that's a rose leaf, it's going to be a little jaggedy on the edge. And maybe, got one coming out there. You've got to sort of keep track of where you are a little bit. And let's have a stem coming down here, like so. You can put it wherever you wish. And let's have something else, some other sort of a stem coming down here. So that will go behind the gap there, and it may even reappear up there. Oh, hey ho, there we are. It's going to go up there to that flower. Then we're just going to decide to cover it over in places. Down here I think it can whoosh away. Oh, let's get some little skinny little bits coming out the bottom of this flower. There. And maybe another leaf behind there. It's really, you're sort of making these up as you go along a little bit. I'm going to put one coming out here, so there will be a nice dark green behind that petal. Maybe a hint of one coming out there, but it's going to fade away. And I think that will do. I've got some smudges on there off my hand. I shall get rid of them now. And that's our drawing completed, and we're ready to put on a wash as a first layer.